Coming up on today's episode, we got a Thursday night football recap between the Commanders and the Packers. We're going to get into all the action coming up in NFL Week 2. And also, what in the world is Adam Sandler talking about? Coming on saying, you know what? The NBA is just a highlight reel. We'll get all into this stuff coming up. Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Talk from the Crib. I'm your host, Tanner Christian, and we got some great news going on. I'm excited for another NFL weekend. Week 2, we'll get into the preview of that. And also, we're going to jump into what Adam Silver said about the NBA, the own commissioner. I can't believe it. But anyways, if you're new, episodes are airing every Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms. Be sure to check out our website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com. And, we're on social media of Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. It's Philly Heat Entertainment. So go give us a follow and subscribe to those channels because, like I said, my new co-host, Coco, she's with me actually right now. We're making NFL game picks, so you'll be seeing YouTube shorts and TikTok videos of us making our game picks. You picked the Packers last night, so did I. So we got a W to start off week 2. So, and she's getting good. I actually caught her on the camera this time, putting the helmets down, and she made her pick right away. So we're getting pretty good with it. All right, let's hop into the first topic here. Adam Silver called the NBA a highlight sport. Question was asked, fans are getting a little upset with, the pricing, right? The streaming, all these platforms, kind of like how the NFL, right? But the NBA is just taking it a little too far with this because the sport, let's be honest, it's died down a lot. It's not as exciting as it once was. So Adam Sandler came to it, you can see it for free on TikToks and Instagrams and whatnot. Because the NBA essentially is just a highlight sport. And that just rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. So, give my little take on this. And I'm with the fans because I am a fan. I grew up playing basketball. Basketball was like my favorite sport growing up. I grew up in like a great era, you could say. The 90s, I got to see Shaq and Penny and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and those Chicago Bulls teams. I got to see the Miami Heat, New York Knicks rivalry right in front of my face, being down the Miami games. So I got to see a lot of great basketball, even growing up in high school and stuff, and being in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. We had great basketball. We had Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant with Shaq. We saw Kevin Garnett. We saw Tim Duncan. We saw so much talent and so many great teams battling it out. The Detroit Pistons team was crazy defensive in the early 2000s. Then we got the young guys, Dwayne Wade came in, took Miami to won their first championship. That was with Shaq too. Granted, Shaq was kind of later in his career, not as dominant as he was, but we still saw a lot of great basketball. We still saw all competitive all-star games. We still saw this competitiveness. And over the last, I would say 15 years now, it's this steadily gone down, 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 down. And it's kind of hard to watch sometimes when you see people jacking up threes from half court as part of their offense. Nobody's playing much defense. You see the all-star game. You just don't even want to turn the TV on anymore and watch anything. I don't care about highlights in an all-star game. I don't care about highlights during any of those skill competitions. I don't even want to watch the highlights. That's how bad it has gotten. So for the commissioner to come out and say, hey, essentially it's just the NBA is just a highlight reel. I mean, I guess you're right in a way, but what can bring the sport back? We got to bring that competitiveness back. We got to have the star players being in slam dunk contests and being in these contests. We got to find a way, not just throw money. They're making enough money. You got to hold these players responsible. They've taken full advantage of Adam Silver because he was a great guy when he first became the commissioner, right? Everybody loved him. The players were loving him. They were like, wow, this guy's all about, the players. We need to get back to some of the basics here to make the NBA fun again, watchable, so when you see the 7-foot guy jacking a three-pointer up, he's only like a 20% three-point shooter. It's kind of like, I don't want to see that kind of basketball. And honestly, I'll go ahead and say it too. The stars of the game have ruined it. Like a LeBron James not participating ever in the slam dunk contest, right? It's the flopping everywhere. We even saw this past year with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yes, he's got game. I understand that he's a great player. But the whole moving the body and the flopping and all this stuff, I mean, come on, man. Let's play defense. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Everybody's saying great generational player, right? The guy takes like 6 steps and doesn't get called for a travel. He palms the ball. He carries it. Never gets called for it. Like, you see this. It's so blatant to the eye. It's just like, what's the point of watching basketball if you're not going to dribble the ball? Just run across. I'll never forget the clip with Russell Westbrook. I don't know, it's like a few years back. I gotta be like, maybe it's old now. Maybe it's like 5-6 years ago. Because I remember him being in the Thunder and he inbounded the ball. He just started walking with it. He literally took like 5 steps and dribbled, and they finally called this travel. Like, hey, I can walk all the way down the court. You guys aren't going to call it travel. And so we've seen this. We got to get the officiating back. We got to follow some rules here. We got to play some kind of a defense and not just standing around, jack threes up and down the court, possession after possession. That gets kind of boring. We got to see some competitiveness. Stop being so friendly. We got to get that back in the NBA. That's just my take on it. And Adam Silver, dude, come on. Come on. I can't say what I want to say. I'm going to hold back a little bit. But let's just say, be a commissioner. Promote the NBA. Bring the game back. Don't start this highlight reel. We want people to watch the game, not to just turn it off. So I don't get what his point of view is at the moment. But anyways, Adam Silver, he's in the doghouse right now. I don't care what he says anymore. The NBA, to me, has just died so much over the course of past, almost going on a couple of decades now. And it just needs to change. All right, now let's hop into another topic here. Let's go over the Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football, we had the Washington Commanders at the Green Bay Packers. It was a short week. We got Thursday night games. We know how those Thursday night games are. The Green Bay Packers win 27-18. Pretty much dominated the whole game, too. That's like they did on Sunday versus Detroit Lions. So this Packers team has this been the truth, man. Like, this Packers team is the truth. It's not just because who they're playing. It's not because of what they are compared to last year. Bringing in Micah Parsons makes a huge difference because he's really revitalized that team. They believe in themselves. Yeah, Tucker Kraft out there balling out again with 100. What do you get? 142 or 124? I'm sorry, 124 yards and a touchdown. So he got touchdowns in back-to-back games now. Love again had 292 yards and a couple of TDs. So this Packers defense was bringing Micah Parsons. Like, check this out. They're only allowing 3.5 yards of play. It's unheard of. The impact is real. And they didn't allow another play over 20 yards again last night. They don't allow any. I mean, the previous game, remember Jahmyr Gibbs, you would think somebody having 10 receptions would be pretty good, right? Good amount of yards. He only had 30 yards. They're keeping everything in front. The Commanders had absolutely no run game whatsoever. They didn't even try to do it. The rookie 7th round, they gave him, 4 carries for 17 yards. Jaden Daniels struggled mightily against the blitz. Eckler's possibly tore his Achilles. So Washington was just getting beat down by this Green Bay team, and I expected that going in the game. I didn't expect much to see out of that Washington offense, especially in the run game, because after what we saw on Sunday, what Green Bay did to Detroit. So this Green Bay team is for real. They are for real. They're going to be a wrecking to play. Like, you do not want to play them if you are any team in this league. They're going to hit you. The defense is playing outstanding. You thought maybe the secondary may be a little shortcoming, but they've played awesome just because of the pass rush they're getting. It's just, this team has really come together with one addition, right? Micah Parsons. Oh, he can't stop the run. From, like Jerry Jones said, then he comes over here. The Packers are the best damn team at stopping the run at the moment. So, putting him with the players that he already had, it was just gelled right. It's gelling right. They're playing well together. They're being this really dominant, cohesive, defensive team, and it's only going to get better. And when you see Jordan Love have all this confidence, remember when he started being the starting quarterback, he usually started off rough the first, half of the season because of injuries or something that happened. This year he's fully healthy and he's slinging the ball around. And just wait till they get the young kid, Golden, the rookie wide receiver, with his speed on the same page to go with the offense, with Kraft, with Dobbs. So you're going to start seeing, they're just getting started. Let's put it that way. Josh Jacobs, heck of a runner, super underrated. When they get the offense going like that, and then what's still to come, look out. I'm telling you, this Green Bay Packers team is for real. All right, now let's get into some of the marquee matchups that we're getting for Sunday, week 2 in the NFL. I'm going to start off with the Bears and the Lions. Both teams came out 0-1. The Bears on Monday Night Football pretty much had the game won. Caleb Williams starts off 10 of 10. Everything looks awesome. That Ben Johnson offense, you're thinking everything's clicking. You're just going to see a different player. And then, boom, he went back to being Caleb Williams of last year. It's like the ghost or something is still getting over, Soldier Field. We can't, we gotta get out of Caleb Williams' head. But anyways, Ben Johnson returns to Detroit as the head coach of Chicago. We're going to see if Detroit can bounce back and have a better game than they did versus Green Bay. Who you got? I'm going to have to roll with Detroit on this one. I think they're going to bounce back. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get better involved with the running game. Maybe you have more of a big set, for the run game, bringing in extra guys in the block, get it going. I just can't see them not being able to run the ball. Chicago's been a little hit with injuries on the defensive side of the ball as well, especially in the secondary. So I expect Detroit to kind of bounce back, get the win in this one. But, hey, you never know because Ben Johnson knows them all. He's going to know how to scheme. We're going to really find out if Ben Johnson can get Caleb Williams involved, the right way. Like, hey, I know their schemes. I know what they're going to run. Here's what we got to do against that defense. Here's what we got to do on the offensive side of the ball. Because get DJ Moore the ball for once. Because the guy and then he got hurt at the end of that game. I think he took a massive hit. But he's been practicing fully all week. He's good to go. I expect Caleb Williams and DJ Moore to hopefully have that connection on the field where they put up some numbers, get the passing game going, get the play action game going, maybe run the ball a little bit with DeAndre Swift early to try and help that. Roshan Johnson may play in this game. I know he's hurt last game, but maybe he'll help out in the run game. There's different options that Chicago can do that even help Caleb Williams, but he runs great. He's great getting out of the pocket and scrambling, but he's not taking any chances down the field. And that's going to be key in this game. Will Caleb Williams, will Ben Johnson trust him enough to get the ball down the field and not commit any turnovers. Remains to be seen. We're going to find out come Sunday. And in Detroit, can Jared Goff in this offense get Amon St. Brown the ball, right? He's your blanket. He's your security blanket. He's the guy that's going to make your offense move. He controls the middle of the field. We saw that happen last year. When that happened, Detroit was this unbeatable. You couldn't stop him because then he's getting in the middle of the field. You got Laporta, got Jameson Williams speed. He wasn't really a factor in the first game. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs was this bunched up. The Detroit Lions have way too much talent on the offensive side of the ball to not execute. So we're going to see if they improve going to week 2. I expect it, get in that 27-20 range of a score, and the Lions come out with a victory. Okay, next up, we got the Super Bowl rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Is going to be an Arrowhead. Can Pat Mahomes get his revenge? He's irking for it. He wants it. Don't ever bet against Pat Mahomes, right? But you may have to this one. Let's just say it like this. Super Bowl rematch. Xavier Worthy is likely out with that sort of because Travis Kelce took him out the first possession of last game. He's still ailing. So he's out. Of course, Rashee Rice is out with the suspension. Kansas City is getting a little hit on the wide receiver mount again. Rumors trying to bring Tyreek Hill back, perhaps, from Miami. We'll see if Miami lets that go or if they do decide to trade him back. Could be a really good option because right now they kind of just have Hollywood Brown out there for the ride out. So, anyways, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, they just don't start off seasons 0-2. Pat Mahomes never loses 2 in a row. So it's do you really want to bet against that? Check this out. The last time Pat Mahomes has been 0-2, you got to go all the way back to his high school days of 2011. So the guy hasn't had an 0-2 record in almost 15 years here. And same with Andy Reid. The last time he started off 0-2 as a head coach was 2014. It just rarely happens. He's he very rarely loses back-to-back. He very rarely ever loses coming off a bye week. Great coach, has his team prepared. I expect the team to be prepared at home. I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop Saquon. The Kansas City Chiefs, their defense got shredded last week with Justin Herbert just picking them apart. One by one, their receivers were Quentin Johnson running wild. You had Keenan Allen running wild. You had that McConkey running wild. It seemed like the Chargers could do whatever they want in the passing game. We're going to see if that changes this one. And I expected the Kansas City Chiefs defense to play better. But also on the Philadelphia Eagles side of the ball, A.J. Brown only had 1 catch and 8 yards last week versus the Cowboys. I expect him to go off in this game. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Remember last year there would be these dead weeks where they just friction. They didn't get the ball. Glaring stats 1 catch for 8 yards, right? Same thing happened last week. But then you had weeks where it was okay, A.J. Brown's going off. And I expect A.J. Brown to try and go off in this game on the road. It's going to help them win. But I just don't know if I'm ready. I think this Chiefs team is going to struggle for the most part of this year. They may not lose by drastic margins, but they're going to lose some games, man. They're not going to be like last year where there's this kind of somehow winning. The whole entire year last year, that's pretty much how they're going to be this year. They're going to be in the games. Something may have. Pat Mahomes may try to do some miracle type throw and keep them in it, right? And there's always something happening in their favor. Right? Be the refs. How about the refs too? They're at home. I can't really go against them at home in this time. I want to have to pick the Chiefs, but I expect a close one. I can't go against the records that Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid they have coming off of losses. I'm not ready to do it yet. Now, if the Chiefs lose, I'm not going to be mad. All right? I'm going to be kind of happy. I'm yes, finally, they lost. Back-to-back games. Thank you. They are human beings for once, right? The refs weren't on their side. The calls weren't going their way. They weren't making these incredible catches and near the sidelines or popping off these big runs. Like, I expect it. As for the Eagles, Saquon Barkley in that run game, we'll see how it goes. If they can stop Saquon Barkley, they have a chance. But I expect A.J. Brown to have a big game. But I'm still going to roll with the Chiefs, like I said, because I just can't go against them. I just can't yet. And that's going to wrap up today's episode. I want to thank you all for joining me here on Sports Talk from the Crib. I'm your host, Tanner Christian. Remember, new episodes are airing every Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms. Check out the website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com, and all our social media handles on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, we're on it. Feel the Heat Entertainment, it's Feel the Heat ENT. And check out, we're going to upload, Coco, Bean, and I are going to do our picks for Sunday. So you'll see the videos of that out as well. Thank you for joining me. Y'all have a great weekend.